Hey, it's Riley here, and I just quickly wanted to record this video for you and show you exactly what's inside the Sleep Solution System program, just to give you a little inside look of what you can expect once you jump on board, show you around, give you a tour, and show you exactly what you're going to get once you're inside. So once you come on board, you will get immediate access to the Sleep Solution System home dashboard. And this is exactly what it's going to look like. All these modules are completely on demand, all done at your own pace. You can go as slow or as fast as you want. Over the course of this program, it is designed for 8 weeks, but people take their time with it. Some people have more time. Some people have not so much free time. Some people have lots of obligations with their family, friends, their work that are just taking up every single hour of every single day. By the time they get home, they just don't have the energy or the wherewithal to just allocate time to themselves in order to achieve it. If they're putting the kids to bed, maybe they have 1 or 2 hours, maybe they just have 30 minutes a week. And then you have people on the other end of the spectrum who might be retired or just have an abundance of hours throughout the day. And those people might achieve results faster just because they have more time to allocate to themselves. But whatever the case is, again, like I said, this is completely done for you. It's designed for 8 weeks with about 20 hours of material and videos to go through with action items at the end of every single module and just really spoon feeding you of what you need to do so you never feel overwhelmed. So you can really take it step by step along your journey to sleep nirvana, which we call a state of productive bliss. And we'll be doing a whole entire module on that and how to achieve that as you go through the program. So with all that said, let's get right into it, starting with week 1, the essentials. And week 1 is just like it sounds. It's all about laying a foundation and understanding what the true essentials are in order to ensure your success is the best it can be, and to also ensure that you get success with your sleep, productivity, better performance in all areas of your life as fast as possible. And that's how this entire program is designed, with each module placed in a specific order, not only within the week itself, but also how the overarching weeks in the program are structured to take you through this journey of where you are now, not knowing anything about sleep, a little bit scared to get into it, what changes might come, to bringing you to this place of in sleep nirvana, which we call sleep automation, where you're just sleeping so soundly into the night, waking up completely refreshed, having an abundance of energy all day long without having to rely on coffee, stimulants, all of these things that we put in our body that are synthetic and just not ultimately good for us, and where we can just rely on our own body's way of functioning to just act how it should without getting inside of our own way, because ultimately that's just how it's designed. We've just gotten in our own way along the way. And that's why week 1, it's untangling all those wires and showing you exactly where you're wrong, but it's not your fault. You just kind of lost track of what the right path was along the way. And I'm just here to steer you back on course so you have crystal clarity of what you need to do, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So the very first module is called The Road That Lays Ahead, and here is where we're going to be placing the ground rules and showing you how it all starts here at the beginning of your sleep journey, beginning to a transformed life. We're going to be showing you the entire course from a 30,000-foot bird's eye view, macro level view, so you can see everything that's going on, how all the parts fit together, and why what we're doing in each individual module, how it fits together. And this really helps with your motivation too. So you're not just doing homework for the sake of doing homework. You can see how it progresses and what's ultimately to come in your progress as you become version U 2.0 by achieving sleep nirvana. We'll also show you how to join our private Facebook group, where I'm constantly in there helping our members out, showing them how to sleep better with their each individual questions. Any questions they have about the course, I covered in there, and it's a great supportive community where everybody's just encouraging each other, and it's just like a team by your side who's there to help you out along every step of the way. And again, that's private just to the people that join this course. But we'll also be covering the main purpose, like we talked about, Sleep Nirvana, general guidelines. I'll be hosting 2 Q&A calls a week. They usually run between 60 and 90 minutes, and that's where I'll be coaching you one-on-one in a group coaching setting about your sleep questions, anything you wanted to know about sleep, and really just taking a personalized one-on-one approach while you go through the program at your own time. And this is ultimately how you get the best results within your sleep. Next, we're going to be going through an overview of the program, get the most out of it, and how we can achieve an exponentially better life with this new model of sleep. A lot of people take sleep for granted. They just think, I just close my eyes and I'm in this unconscious place, and then I wake up and I'm in this, it's a new day, but it's so much deeper than that. And you gain a much when you gain a deeper understanding of what sleep is all about and what goes into it, you can almost think of your body as this machine where you put each individual input into your body and you see what the outputs become. And you can tinker with these different things we put inside of our body. And once we understand how the different systems work inside of our body, it's like this beautiful orchestra that's playing all at once. And we just have to tinker with pieces here, and then this will happen over here. And it just goes on and on and on. And that's how you develop true deep appreciation, like I said, for your sleep. But this, again, also helps with your motivation too. So it's all these deep nuances that I discovered through my own journey that I just want to provide for you as well. Next, we'll be going over monk-like discipline and how sticking to something, even if you don't have a lot of time, is not as hard as you think if you follow the exact right thing to do. So beyond just telling you about sleep, I'm going to show you all the foundations so you can stick on the path as easily and effortlessly as possible. The next one we'll be going into is our current sleep crisis. So what has happened from in modern day society, why nobody sleeps well? We're in this stage where people just think it's okay to sacrifice our biology, sacrifice our health in order to get ahead. And somehow that means that we can get more done by working harder and burning the candle from both ends until we ultimately burn out, which could lead to disease. But on a more functional level, it can also lead to us just not being able to mentally function as well as we did before. And we may have remembered a time when we were just soaring with energy. It could have been when we were 17, 18 years old, our early 20s, but somewhere along the way, there was a broken link. And it's all about reconnecting that link so we can just get back to this state of how our bodies are meant to optimally function. So in this week, I'm going to be showing you our current sleep crisis. What has it led to? The traditional model of sleep, how it's outdated and wrong, and how this outdated programming, specifically in the medical system, society, and the workplace, and how it's time to take power back into your own hands, become your own guru, and ultimately how to make yourself sleep better so you don't have to rely on these people who end up steering you in circles anyway and never leading you to a sustainable long-term solution. So we'll be going also over caffeine, how it's the band-aid to all problems, sleeping aids, promise of a perfect pill inside of a plastic bottle, sleep in the workplace, what society and the medical system don't tell you. We really go through it all in here. Next, after we've identified the problem, we're going to be getting into fundamentals first. So after going from a clean slate, now it's time to start planting the seeds and giving you an idea of what's truly possible when you're able to sleep better. And this is where we start introducing the real basics when it comes to sleep. And here we're going to be talking about all the basic resources to sleep blissfully into the night. So generally, it'll be a top-level view of anatomy of our sleep physiology, our ancestors and the circadian rhythm paradox. This part is really cool. It was one of my favorites while recording this course for you. Different stages of sleep, how inflammation is a silent killer when it comes to sleep and our overall productivity. More stimulants are not the answer. And then ultimately achieving our default state and how we can achieve this. And once you understand all of these, they all flow very, very well together in this one unit of fundamentals first. You'll have this deep understanding and appreciation of our body. And a lot of people who watch this, they think, why was I doing this damage to my body all along? I mean, this module is really that powerful. And I wanted to design it in this way to really wake people up. The next one is switching to the new model. So once you understand what the foundations are, it's all about going to the new model of sleep. And here we're going to be talking about how the new age model of sleep is better than the old age model of sleep. And so many tactics and strategies that modern day doctors and gurus are giving for their patients, whether it comes to sleeping pills, which have a myriad of side effects, just really not getting people anywhere. But between the workplace society and the conventional medical system combined, what I'm showing you is just a new way of looking at it through the new age model of sleep. And so what you're going to be learning in here is the best ways to lower head to toe inflammation. That's super important when it comes to sleep. How to create a Zen-like mind and unlocking your brain's inner genius and much more. And just showing you the true potential, because it's not just about improving your sleep and that's that and you're done with it. it's showing you that once you improve your sleep, all the benefits that can come with it as well. And again, this is to motivate you, show you what's possible when it comes with your sleep. All the material I've talked about and some of my free course and things like that, I haven't even scratched the surface on of what's really possible. And I didn't have the chance to, just because there's so much to talk about. And I can't just scratch the surface in something and stop there. I really have to take a deep dive with it, and that's exactly what I did inside of this course. So here we'll be going over how to become a productivity machine by doing more in less time, how your biology is unique and we have to treat it as such, complex problems, easy solutions, how we can use precise measurement tools for exceptional results. And then once we have this all in place, it's like you're seeing for the first time. It's like you wake up one morning and it's like this heavy blanket was lifted off of your head and you can just see, and everything is so effortless. The colors in the room are just brighter. Everything is just more vivid. Your memory's better. Your mood's better. Everything is just running on all cylinders. And it's like people are having this eureka moment or Satori experience, because it's really just that powerful. Once, like I said, you stop getting inside of your own way. So I'm going to be telling you how we can achieve this by switching to the new model of sleep. And then all the following weeks of this program are what the how-to of this new model of sleep. So again, week 1 is all about the philosophy of doing all this. And again, I'm going to be doing, giving you guys handouts, PDF downloads with questionnaires, because in this program, it's all about getting subjectively, how do you feel within your own body? What is the awareness in your body? What does it feel like? And then once we have that down, it's about getting objective. So what are the numbers while you're sleeping? How well are you sleeping? And then when we combine the two, this is where the true magic happens, because we can combine with our subjective data. If we think we're sleeping well, but we're not actually sleeping well, our objective data will tell us this, but we would have had no idea if we were just relying on how we think we slept. Sometimes we think we slept great, but we actually slept horribly, and we wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for a tracker. And the other way around, our body is the best tool, and sometimes people just rely on the numbers, and then that's it. And they're so sucked into the numbers, but it's so much more than that. And I show you this whole model because, again, this is all about a holistic model of sleep. All the 1% that add up is ultimately how you're going to get the most out of this. And with that, like I said, we're going to be giving you handouts. We have this one, the ideal chronotype for each one. You're going to be getting MP3 downloads of each, so you don't have to watch the video each time. You can actually listen to it while you're in your car, working out, again, with lifetime access to it as well. And in here, we have Eliminating Old Program. This has it at MP3 as well. Going on to week 2. This one is called your lifestyle regime. So lifestyle is very, very important, because these are all the elements that we combine together of how we're living our day-to-day life during our waking hours. Yes, sleep is important, and people think, well, if I don't sleep well, then I'm not going to perform well while I'm awake. But the reverse is also true. How well you manage your hours while you're awake is also going to impact how well you sleep. And this is what a lot of people don't acknowledge either. So here's what I'm telling you that you can start implementing in your waking hours to ensure you get the best sleep possible, so that best sleep can translate into a better version of you. So the very first one we'll be getting into is how outside of sleep is just as important as sleep itself. Because when your quality of sleep is bad, you're going to have a lousy day and mediocre results. So in here, I'll be showing you how you do one thing is how you do everything, lifestyle contributions to inflammation, and your body's healing magical healing mechanism. We're going to be talking a lot about this a lot inside of the program, because the body's inner way of healing itself, once you give it the right inputs, you remove what's causing a lot of chaos inside of the body, and you start planting the seeds, which is ultimately going to just send you on this upward spiral forward, and you're going to get results a lot faster than you think. Here you can also see just the amount of downloads that you'll have that goes right to your computer. It's not just available for you once you're logged into the course. What I recommend in the first module is you download all these into a folder for yourself, and you can go through one by one, so it's always easily available, always easily accessible, and you can actually compare yourself with each of these as you progress through the program. So you can see these are all interactive PDF files, so you can actually input answers. for yourself. You can compare yourself now from 4 weeks from now, from 8 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now. A lot of people are doing this, and this is where they're seeing really great results. But you're also going to be getting just cheat sheets of stuff I talk about inside of the modules, where you can just quickly look at it, know quickly what you have to do, and then just get on with your day within 10 seconds of looking at it. Sometimes you just need to go back to something without listening again to the full module, but you have the option for that as well through each of the on-demand modules. The next one we'll be getting to is the ultimate sleep environment. Your sleep environment is extremely important because that's where we sleep, and we spend 1/3 of our life sleeping, which is why it must be fully optimized. So here we're going to be covering how your bedroom environment is your sanctuary for peace and tranquility. We're going to be going over mattress and under the sheets, the best tools, the exact ones that I use with direct links to each. I'm updating these regularly. I'm constantly looking online, hearing from the insider of what the best tools and gadgets are for all these things. And they are always being updated with new and improved technology and just things that are coming out year by year, month by month. So I'll be telling you the best mattress to use, the best sheets to use with a direct link to each, blocking out all the light. We'll be going over the best blue light blocking glasses. We'll be going over blue light stimulation, how it suppresses your melatonin, aromatherapy, EMFs, ideal room temperature, overcoming noise, air quality and humidity, salt lamp, and filtering plants. So we'll be doing a high-level view from how it affects us and what we can do about it. But in addition to that, with the exact step-by-step tool that I even use myself. And I don't tell my clients anything to do that I do not do myself. That's why I practice exactly what I preach. The next one we'll be going over is stress be gone. And stress is very important because if we're stressed, our body on a hormonal level that you'll find out in future modules messes up our sleep, messes up our circadian rhythm, and it's really not good for us. So in this module, we're going to be going from head to toe, top to bottom, how to fix your sleep for good. And while stress is good in small doses, being in this constant state of fight or flight is really not good for us, and this is not how we're adapted. Our bodies, especially based in our ancestral environment hundreds, thousands of years ago, but our bodies haven't changed, but our environment has changed. And that's where we go into something called the Savannah Principle and some other things, but that's topic for another time once you're in the module. And we'll be going over here how we can turn your 9 out of 10 levels of stress into 1 out of 10 in a matter of minutes. More specifically, we'll be getting into the physiology of how our bodies react to stress. Also, how we can calm the fight or flight response, which is so detrimental to our bodies when it comes to stress. Also, how we can restore the HPA axis, also known as the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. And this is a system within our body that all run in synergy with each other. That's one of the most important when it comes to your stress levels and lowering it in the most optimal way possible. After that, we'll be going to adrenal fatigue, adrenal dysfunction, which you may have heard before, but I'm going to show you more cutting edge of what most people don't know about it. And lastly, heart rate variability, which is the measure of your tolerance to stress with your breathing, with your heart rate, how it's all connected, and ultimately how you can change it, because heart rate variability is one of the biggest indicators and measurements of our stress levels and our ability to sleep as well. In addition, you're also going to be getting handouts and questionnaires to see where you subjectively fall and just quick resources that you can go to whenever you find yourself in a state of stress. After that, we'll be going directly into the mind-body connection, how the mind is the body and the body is the mind, and how they work in synergy with each other, because most people live inside of their minds without ever thinking about their bodies. In fact, they sometimes see their body or feel their body as just their transport vehicle for their mind to just bring it from point A to point B. But your body is so much more than that. And with a better body comes a better mind, and vice versa as well. So we're going to show you how your body is this temple that when you don't manage it the right way, you're going to be stuck in this state of anti-sleep. But if you treat it the right way and you do movements in the right way and you connect the mind-body connection in the most optimal way, your body is going to reward you in ways that you cannot begin to imagine. So we're going to be getting into showing you how we became so disconnected from our bodies, different yoga techniques that we can start using, aerobic exercises, weightlifting, and certain deep breath work that I use on a regular basis. I usually do some kind of version of one of these on a daily basis, and it makes such a difference in my day if I just integrate it with my morning routine, my evening routine, anytime I have free time. And you don't need a lot of time. In fact, the shorter you do it, sometimes the more effective that it can be. And I go into the reasons why throughout this module as well. Next, and this is one that's usually in high demand, what's the best morning routine? Yes, the morning is so important. Everybody wants to know, how can I optimize my day in the best way possible? Well, this is how. We're going to be going over how you can wake up naturally so you don't need an alarm clock, which isn't good for you anyway. Also, what is the best morning cocktail to get your day started? Best forms of meditation for how long, what kind, guided, self. All those details explained inside. Light exposure and movement, breathing in certain kinds of showers, which we call contrast showers. Also mindset and application so you can start your day off right. And with all this, you're going to be getting an action steps to your perfect morning handout. So all you need to do is look at this printable handout and you know exactly what you need to do to ensure you get the perfect morning, set your day up right. Because once you get, especially the first 2 hours of your day down and you have it mastered, you're just going to see the rest of your day excel. Add this on top of everything else we're putting inside of the program, you're just going to see exponential results. It's pretty scary to see some people what they can achieve when they just start executing on the steps that were laid out in front of them. All you have to do is follow, and it will reward you back in ways you cannot possibly begin to imagine. And lastly, is one quick final note. All of these techniques that I talk about are all scientifically proven to work, and I'm always updating them based on the literature that I'm reading, what's working for people, what's working in the biohacker community. Even myself, I'm trying new and tested techniques. But again, it's all about convenience for you. You don't have to follow one specific technique if it's not working for you, or all of them. You can pick and choose just like a buffet, making it fit to you and your schedule and your life. Moving forward into week 3, we are going to be getting into your diet regime. Now you might be thinking, what does diet have to do with sleep? Well, it turns out quite a bit, because the foods that we put inside of our body directly correlate to how the systems in our body are functioning. And we have multiple systems inside of our body, whether it's our hormonal system, our digestive system, our circulatory system. They just go on and on. They all contribute to how well we function in the day, but also how well we sleep. And people think that our body just seems to shut off when we go unconscious, but it's not the case. And there's all these systems at work that if they're not functioning optimally, because we're putting poor foods inside of our body that are just causing these internal fires that our body reserves have to come in and put out, which causes more stress inside of our body, leading to you waking up multiple times during the night, not going to sleep at the time you want, and waking up feeling like an absolute train wreck, knowing that that day is not going to go well at all. And so this is where the Tao of diet comes in, because we're going to be talking about how important diet is when it comes to your sleep. Because food is the one thing that we're going to be putting inside of our bodies, whether we like it or not, multiple times during the day. And the food we put in our body can either make our body go up or make our body go down. And unfortunately for most people, it makes their body and their mind go down, which contributes to poor sleep, and the vicious cycle just starts all over again. And many people have been stuck in this pattern for many years. So starting out, we're going to be going over the Tao of diet, how we can balance all the foods that we put inside of our body. Next, we'll be going to intestinal permeability, something known as leaky gut, how disastrous it can be for a lot of people. And most people don't realize it, that the food they're eating, even sometimes healthy foods, can actually be causing their bodies this hidden chronic internal levels of inflammation, both on their brain, both on their body, and it's causing these systems, like I said before, to not be working as they should. Lastly, not all foods are created equal, and the best cooking methods as well. And again, you're going to be getting handouts to each of these with questionnaires, quick checklists, handouts that you can refer to, keep inside of your kitchen, so you're all good to go from day one. The next one we'll be getting into is paleo template. Now, diet is really important, but more specifically, it's about following a certain template for yourself. And a template makes it easy, because it's not about a diet of 3 teaspoons of this and complex recipes that people fall off anyway. The easier you can make it for yourself, And the easier you can stay on it and have that consistency is ultimately going to define how well of the results that you achieve for yourself for the long term, because consistency is always more important than just doing a one-off thing. So that's why I wanted to make this super convenient for you, so you stick to it and you make it fit your schedule and your life. So making healthier food decisions is just 100 times easier. So in this paleo template module, we're going to be going over the paleo template. What is it exactly? How we can actually apply it. And this is where I'm going to be providing you with a food template, what exactly to eat from a high level view down to the micro view. Also grocery lists. I'm going to provide you with all the major grocers, Costco, Walmart, Safeway, all the biggest ones in the USA, and exactly where to find each one inside of the store and which ones to look for that coincide with this paleo template diet. This is literally me spoon feeding you, done for you. Also as well, if you need any modifications to the paleo template, I'm providing that for you as well. If you're allergic to certain foods, have sensitivities to certain foods, there is a solution for you inside of here. And again, you also have an MP3 of this so you can listen to it in your car as well. The next one we're going to be going over is bodily deficiencies that contribute to insomnia. Now, one of the main reasons people don't realize they're sleeping poorly at night or functioning not greatly during the day is because they're missing key micronutrients inside of their body. It could be a dehydration problem, electrolyte and mineral deficiencies or imbalances, and even not eating enough. And this is where people aren't eating enough calories. That leads to caloric restriction. That's not giving them enough energy and the building blocks to build their Krebs cycle, to go through every single step to give their mitochondria enough energy in order to optimize their day, but also prevent them from waking up in the middle of the night because they may have blood sugar swings. Some of this is quite complex and you'll see more of it inside, but more specifically what we'll cover is nocturnal hypoglycemia, micronutrient, electrolyte, mineral deficiencies, and dehydration, really what they are in detail and exactly what you can do about it. Next, we're going to be going into substances keeping you awake. Now, the first one that probably comes to mind is the obvious one, caffeine, coffee. And you're completely right, and that's one of the biggest ones. But what a lot of people don't realize is there's many more that are keeping them up at nighttime. And a lot of those include histamine, glutamate, other stimulants, including alcohol. Dark chocolate, people don't realize has caffeine inside of it, and it's many people's midnight dessert. Not midnight, but evening dessert. That they use. So here I'm going to show you a healthier alternative to promote healthier deep sleep states. And we'll be touching again on these, exactly what they are, why they cause harm on each part of your body, and then what you can do as a substitute. And it's not to say that you can't have these things. You can. It's just when they're in excessive amounts, and everyone has a range on how much that they can tolerate. It's all about finding your own. And again, that's what we do here through the handouts. And again, subjectively figuring out where you stand on that range. And then lastly, for the diet regime week, we're going to be going over my favorite diet sleep hacks. And this took me years upon years to formulate. And these are just quick, straight to the point, what I utilize. A lot of this includes certain form of ginger tea. I have the Sandman stack, Bedtime Elixir 1, Bedtime Elixir 2, and there's something known as Fat Bombs as well. How to make all of them are inside of these handouts. Again, you can print these out, keep them in your kitchen, keep them anywhere in your house, keep them digitally stored on your phone, anywhere that you want to have it for quick access. I made it available to you so you can do that. You don't have to log in every single time to watch these videos, to access them. I just want to make this as convenient as possible for you. And that's week 3. So week 3 is a big one and definitely one of the most important. But it doesn't stop there. Going into week 4, we're getting into supplements. Now, supplements are there in week 4 for a reason. They're not there as week 1, 2, or 3, because supplements are there to supplement an already good existing paleo template, diet, exercise, lifestyle regime, and all these factors that we talked about before. And that's why they are here. Supplements are really good, and they're there to really target in and hone in on where your deficiencies may not only lie, but certain supplements correlate with potentially what symptoms you're experiencing, and they can really provide relief in both the short term and the long term. And sometimes people need targeted treatment just to start out, and where they are here. And supplements are really good for targeted treatment, but the issue is people don't use them in the right way. And that's why I created Supplement Essentials, to show you everything you need to know about how to properly take supplements so you're not just coincidentally collecting this supplement graveyard again, where you're buying things from the latest magazine, what somebody in the nutrition store said, and you're actually taking things for a reason. So instead of a full machine gun auto fire approach, you're going to be taking a targeted, specific sniper approach. And that's ultimately how you get the best results, because it's something that's customized and tailored for you. So we're going to be covering preliminary supplement protocols, supplements to supplement an already good existing lifestyle, show you the philosophy behind that, how to best implement it to your life, supplement quality, how important that is for your results. That's equally, if not more important than the supplement you're taking. The next one supplement at a time, then we'll observe results, and short-term supplement fixes versus long-term use. And I'm going to show you what this handout is really, really useful, because it allows you to either titrate to implement one supplement at a time, or to take out supplements based on how you're feeling. And I show you a really cool method about how to do this for your own biology. Next, we're going to be getting into the big part of the supplements, unlocking key supplements to upgrade your sleep and productivity. And here I go through everything, and there's no theory in this one. This is exactly the supplements that I use, with direct links to each one. So you can literally go online with the link that I provide you, order it yourself, the best quality, the one that I personally take myself. In fact, if you went into my supplement cabinet right now, you would find the exact supplements that I provide the links for. Everything that I suggest my clients take, I take myself. And I don't suggest anything before I take it and see true results. So we're going to be getting to the exact supplements that I use, supplements that you can take every day. And then we're going to be getting into more targeted type relief and also maintenance things that you can do whenever you find yourself in stress, you can't fall asleep, to fall asleep quickly, to stay asleep, to lower inflammation, to normalize your circadian rhythm, to aid your blood sugar, to help with your focus and concentration. You literally have everything you need, and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars and years upon years of trying to perfect this formula. And this is what I use as my personal cheat sheet, and now it's going to be yours once you're inside the program. And you're going to be getting the supplement protocol cheat sheet, when to take and what to take and when, as well as the direct supplement access handout with those specific links, so you can literally get that supplement that you would like to take that corresponds to your situation within a couple days. It's that fast. Next, we'll be jumping into week 5. Now we'll be moving away from some of the body stuff, and we're going now more into the mind. And week 5 is all about your brain, mindset, and the limbic system. And this week is really important because the brain plays such a foundational role on how much just general baseline default anxiety do you have. Are you an anxious person? Do things make you more angry than the average person? Do you seem to lose your cool? Do you seem to not be as talkative as you once were? When you go to bed and you put your head down on the pillow, do you find your mind's racing and you find other people just can fall asleep within 5 minutes, but not you? You're just thinking about thinking. You can't get to sleep at the right time, and then it causes you to wake up in the middle of the night. Can't get back to sleep, even if it's 3 a.m, which is a huge detriment, because second half of our sleep correlates to our REM sleep, which is our most restorative sleep for our brain. So if we're waking up in the middle of the night, we are not going to be feeling completely mentally rested for the next day. And if that keeps happening, you are going to not feel like your best self, whether you're in that situation now or on track for it. Don't worry, there is a solution here for you inside of this module. So thoughts, feelings, actions. In this one, we're going to be going over how you can minimize your negative thoughts and just think positively in every situation. So we're going to break down your outdated patterns of thinking. This can be from the past, how it all starts from unconscious formulated patterns of behavior. If you were rejected when you were a kid, it doesn't have to be very traumatic experiences. People can have micro traumatic experiences every day when they're a child, a teenager, even inside of their 20s, and even and beyond. And we don't address that. We put everything under the rug. But just like coffee, how we drink that to feel more alert, more awake, that's going to be making a sacrifice somewhere else, which is all the stress related hormones and all the systems that are associated with that. So there's no getting away with anything. You have to address everything head on. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this module, as well as the other modules, but we're just going to baby step it so it's comfortable for you so you can automatically integrate it into your day and your nighttime routine. We're going to get into a brain state of peak performance. What does it take to achieve that? Also, how your thoughts become emotions. And because once they're emotions, this is what really bothers you. People don't necessarily care about the thought itself. It's the emotion and the feeling behind it that gives them that charge. And it's all about, if you can remove that charge, then you just have the thought without having that connection to it. And then you're really in a great place. Next, we'll be getting into meditation. Now, meditation is really important, and it's a broad concept. Everybody knows about meditation, but I really broke down what are the best forms of meditation and how you should meditate if you're somebody who maybe doesn't have a lot of hours in a day. Like this monk right here is probably meditating 10 to 15 hours a day, and we just don't have that amount of time. So I'm going to show you all it takes, sometimes 10, 20, 15 minutes, all different forms of meditation, including ones that you can follow as well, with links to all of them. Some of them are my favorite guided meditations. What are the benefits also of a monk-like mind? Because once you meditate, you'll increase the gray matter in your brain, which is associated with how smart you are, your IQ, but also your amygdala in your brain, which is the emotional center of your brain. Actually starts to shrink. And when it shrinks, you'll find yourself in the same stressful situation, but you just don't feel stressed. And as a result, you have less getting in your way and you can achieve more. So this is huge for productivity as well. And then best ways to meditate each day and forms of meditation as well. And it doesn't matter where you are. You can be at your home, you can be at work, you can be in the car. These are very, very easy to implement. Next one, we're going to be going directly into healing from trauma and chronic stress. And this is my favorite one of this week because I have seen with people how important trauma from the past, especially the unconscious mind, how important it is for our ability to sleep. And it's gone so far as people having PTSD, where they're just getting flashbacks from the past, to the point where they don't get those flashbacks as much, or at least they're really minimized. And there's many different forms of therapy out there, and they're all great in their own way. There's cognitive behavioral therapy. There is talk therapy with a therapist. And these are great and they have their time. But the thing is, you can talk about those. The conscious mind is more so on the surface. But when you get to the unconscious level, that really runs us. And they say something like 85% of our thoughts, between 85 and 95% of their thoughts, the number's always changing, are not ours. They're just running in the background. Well, this is just all your mind doing it. It's what you're attached to that ultimately will make you feel triggered and whatnot. I'm going on a rant here, but I just wanted to show you how important trauma can be from the past. And it doesn't mean you've had to be in a serious accident before something horrible happened to you when you were younger. There's these micro traumas that are carrying people's lives in a negative way. And once we remove that, then they just feel like their true self. It's almost like this outer layer just broke off of them and they can finally feel free, but also more peaceful. So not only during the time that you're asleep can you just feel more at ease. Everything is more in a rest and digest state. You're just feeling like you're 100% high productive self, even during your waking hours. So in here, I actually teamed up with a therapist. He's actually an unconscious mind Zen coach. He's been into self-help himself for up to 20, 25 years. He's been working with clients for 15 years now. I went through him myself through my journey when I was healing from Crohn's, and emotionally just years ago, it was very taxing, and he really helped me overcome so many of these things. And within a couple sessions, I was feeling so much better. So what he provided for me, he works one-on-one with me. For my private clients, we really help people tackle it from all angles with specific lab testing on their health that we send to their house, but that's for another time. What this is, though, is he's provided 2 specific videos to help you sleep better that you can implement right before you go to bed, first thing you wake up, and it literally will melt the stress away, and you will feel so much better, a clearer mind, And this works arguably sometimes better than meditation. But again, it's just another tool in the toolbox, and all the handouts are provided for you, the video access, as well as the MP3, so you can access that as well. Next, we have sounding and grounding. Sounding and grounding is really cool because this is sort of new on the forefront of science, but with technology now, we can actually use sound, also the ground, to really quiet the mind. You may have felt that you're less inside of your mind when you're more in your body. There may have been days where you feel your body more than other days, and that may coincide with less anxiety. Your thoughts slow down a little bit. It feels like your brain's just taking a slower pace and it sees everything in a slower motion instead of it just feeling rushed, like you have to get from point A to B and you just can't think straight. So what sounding and grounding does is it really helps you get back into your body, sense your body, and especially when you're stressed, it helps the body and the mind become one, so you can get more into a couple different states, but heart rate variability we can really make go up with this, calming the mind into a parasympathetic state, and much more. So with these, I give you my favorite recommendations, direct apps that you can start using right on your phone that are really good, binaural beats, certain harmonics that I've used. There's many out there, but I'm going to show you my favorite ones, and in my opinion, the ones that work the best. And then also grounding into the earth, what you can do as well. And there's video links I provide you inside of here so you can have a better and easier understanding as well. Lastly, we are going to be going into mindset techniques to set you free. So beyond the subconscious mind, there is the conscious mind. And I think the conscious mind is very important once we address the foundation. You may have seen it before. There's Freud, and he talks about the iceberg where our ego is. The 90% is under the water, and then there's only 10% that's above. Well, it's the same thing applies here. So once we really target the subconscious mind and we tap into the root cause of what's causing us to feel anxious, what's causing us to feel angry, what's causing us to feel sad, not like ourselves, and we're able to release that, then we can start going more so towards the conscious mind. And these are really good as well, because these are anytime we catch ourselves thinking negative thoughts, because again, and I talk about this inside of here, our mind automatically generates negative thoughts. They're called ants for short. And if you're attached to them, then that's where problems start to occur. But there's so many strategies proven by science that you will be able to deal with these things whenever they come up on the conscious level. So now you have the conscious tools, you have the unconscious tools, and you have a winning situation. And that's why I'm such a firm and strong believer in taking a holistic approach. So in here, I'll be going into thinking makes it so, cognitive behavioral therapy, handouts how you can do for each one. So you can do this on a nightly basis if you choose, and you can compare your answers to before. Again, through the program, I often recommend with clients is do this at the beginning of the program, do this at the end of the program, and even when you finish the program, do it again and see where you are, because in addition to testing everything objectively, we do subjective and just see how far you've come, because it's easy for people to forget sometimes. We'll be going to reframing exercises, visualization, anchoring, journaling, and I'll tell you what to do for everyone as well. These all have handouts for your download, either digitally or if you want to print them out as well. So that's everything in the mindset techniques to set you free. Next, we'll be taking it a step further. And here we'll be getting into pretty interesting territory. This is the stuff that is more on the advanced scale. Everything we talked about before is the 80, 90, 95% in order to achieve your goal. And this is most people. This is the average person. But for those who want to take it even a step further, what we talk about inside of this week is exactly what you want to know. And for some people, they're more optimizers. More people consider themselves advanced with sleep. And if so, this one is specifically for you. So the first one we're going to be getting into is medical conditions. Some people have medical conditions and they don't realize it. I'm not going to show you how to solve it because this is between you and your doctor if you do, but I just want to make you aware of what exists out there. So maybe you want to go see your doctor for an official diagnosis if you get the hunch that some of what I describe inside of here fits you. And so we go, this is again beyond the model of the Sleep Solution System program, but as a bonus, I wanted to include it for you. We also go into sleep apnea, PLMD, RLS for restless leg syndrome, narcolepsy, REM sleep behavior disorder. And again, this is where you go for a polysomnograph, also known as a sleep study overnight. A lot of what you will see in that test will tell you what associates with a potential condition. I've done one myself. Everything had come back fine, but some people have sleep apnea and it causes them to wake up multiple times throughout the night. Restless leg syndrome is another big one that happens to some people. It just goes on and on. Sometimes it's genetics. Sometimes it develops over time and people aren't born with it. It just depends, and there's such a variation. So I wanted to just include this in here so you just have a better sense of what's going on if this could be you. Next, we'll be going into travel and sleep. Travel and sleep is a big one. People with jet lag, people who are traveling regularly, they just can't go past 3 hours of time zones without being wiped. And because we're forced to travel for our jobs, then or businesses we're potentially running, meetings we have to attend, stuff that we can't do virtually, then unfortunately we just have to deal with the circumstances. But there's a lot of things that you can do for the circumstances if you go in a time zone, either if it's forward, ahead of your current time zone or behind your current time zone. We're talking about 5+ hours. Usually within a 3-hour time zone, most people are okay. But if you're flying overseas, flying to different continents, this is usually where it becomes a pretty big issue for people. But even if it's within 3 hours, it's not what people are used to. So in either case, I'm going to show you what exactly you can do to address jet lag. So jet lag madness, moving effectively through time zones, what you can exactly do to sleep on an airplane. And then if you are completely wrecked, what can you do to get back to baseline? So let's say you go ahead of your time zone, let's say 7 hours. How can you make it so you return back to your baseline state as soon as possible? Because they do say, the mainstream science that is, that it takes an average of 1 hour to adjust for every day, which is true, but let's just say there's some ways around it with exactly what I show you here. As well, these include handouts, so I'm going to show you exactly what you can do. Download this to your phone. When you move between time zones, it's a cheat sheet, commandments to follow so you can actually sleep on the plane and wake up feeling refreshed in your destination and not have as much of a heavy hitting impact from the jet lag when you do so, because it can be very detrimental. If you can't sleep on a plane at all and you go without sleep for 12, 24 hours, as I definitely have in my early years, but now I don't really get any of that if I have to fly long destinations. Can sleep on a plane, no problem whatsoever. Lastly, I'll be giving you a cheat sheet of what to do after you get off the airplane, as most people are wrecked, and also what's going inside of your body while you're up in the airplane, besides the jet lag, is quite damaging. So we have to recover the body as fast as possible through something I call active recovery instead of just passive recovery. And all that is inside of there. So literally within a couple hours, even if you are jet lagged, even if you do feel destroyed after the airplane and you weren't able to sleep that much, you can just get back to baseline as fast as possible. And with that, you have Travel and Sleep MP3 that you can download to your mobile phone as well. Next, we're going to be going into Inception dreaming. And if you've seen the movie Inception, you know just how powerful our dreams can be. But in real life, our dreams can also equally as powerful if we know how to use them to our advantage. And that's why in this module called Inception Dreaming, I'm going to show you how to return back to dreamland and actually use it to consciously hack your world and spark ingenious ideas that you can carry with you into the next day. And it's all about being able, or at least increasing the odds of you being able to command your dreams with minimal work. And what I'll be talking about is what dreams are, what lucid dreaming is, and how we can achieve lucid dreaming, and also using dreams to hack our conscious world. Really fascinating stuff. As more scientific literature emerges around this, I'm also going to be including it as well. But this is one I am definitely excited about. Next we have on the list is napping. Napping is very important, but people don't know, how long should I nap? When should I nap? Is napping healthy, or should I just focus on improving my sleep? Well, I'm going to be answering all these questions here with who needs it and under what circumstances, the optimal timing for sleep, the duration of naps, nap time and sleep balance. When should you sleep so it doesn't interfere with your nighttime sleep? And if you are having naps, should you sleep as long during your regular nighttime sleep, all these questions that people have. It is a very confusing subject, and I'm here to give you crystal clarity so you know exactly what to do. And lastly, I'm going to tell you what not to do before a nap. Again, all this includes a PDF handout so you can download and access at your convenience. The next one we're going to be getting into is the second brain, also known as your gut. This is one of the biggest areas why people are not sleeping well, and people don't see the association because how is the gut, where your stomach is, have any association to do with your brain? Well, the truth is there's a lot, and the reason is because your gut actually operates, they call it the second brain for a reason, because your gut can operate independently from your brain, but they are interconnected through something known as the vagus nerve and other different pathways. But there is a connection that they've discovered quite a few years ago, and they're increasingly seeing its importance and how your gut plays a pivotal role in your brain health, and vice versa too. If you have a poor gut, your brain is not going to be functioning. You might feel anxious, you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel not like your best optimized self that is 10 out of 10. You might feel like 2 out of 10, and the gut could be a reason why. Here, I'm going to show you the exact reasons that could be causing issues inside of your gut. Gut-brain feedback patterns, parasites, worms, pathogens, candida yeast, dysbiosis, leaky gut, and its association with the brain. Identifying the problem, what you can do about it, and then holding your hand every step of the way so you can personalize a specific game plan for yourself. After that, we're going to be getting into detoxification decrypted, and detoxification is very important, primarily through the liver. Our body is always detoxifying, but due to the current modern day stresses we're going through, the lack of clean air, clean water, clean food, eventually as the years pass by, our bodies become accumulated with all these dangerous toxins that are disrupting our hormonal processes and all these different systems within our body. And sooner or later, our body just can't take it anymore. So what I'm going to be showing you in this module is how you can get these pathways clear and running again, just like they're brand new. So we're going to be covering our overburdened toxic load, what to identify, what to look out for, what can you do to avoid them. We're going to be going also more specifically into the liver and different parts of the body, detoxification phase 1 pathways, phase 2, and lastly, how you may have methylation problems, which basically means your body's ability to detoxify in your body is impaired. But not to worry, rest assured, you're in the right hands. I will show you exactly what to do. Next, we'll be going into your thyroid gland. Now, many people go to their doctor for their thyroid gland and the results come back normal. But the truth is your thyroid is much deeper than that. And what they test for is usually not showing the whole picture. They'll usually test for something known as TSH, but there's way more than that. And I'm going to show you exactly what you should tell your doctor to test out for. That could indicate you have some HPT axis related issues, maybe any indications of hypothyroid, hyperthyroid. Again, you want to talk to your doctor with these things. I'm just here to tell you that when it comes to your sleep and your energy levels, you could definitely be experiencing issues with this if your levels are out of the optimal range for your age, for your sex, and many other factors that you have to consider. And there's about 7 to 10 markers that you want to look at, while the average family doctor will only test for one. So it just goes to show you how dated the medical system can be in a lot of ways. But again, not to worry, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to get those into the optimal ranges. Even if you don't do the specific test with your doctor, everything we talk about inside of the program in this module is just going to naturally bring things in the right direction. So it's going to be HPT axis we'll talk about, the hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. I'm also going to give you a questionnaire of key questions that I sometimes ask my clients that they want to potentially, again, similar to medical conditions, you always want to see your doctor for this. Hypothyroidism is more common than hyperthyroidism and can cause you cold hands, cold feet, other things that I talk about inside of here that can impact your sleep, and people may not even realize it. And this is where taking a sniper approach can really help paint a clear picture and show us where we should start looking more too. After that, we're going to be going into brain neurotransmitters. Brain neurotransmitters are very important because they are the building blocks that form our behaviors and how we feel. The thing is, most people are deficient in one or many, which is why here in this module, I'm going to show you the optimal strategies to bring them into that optimal range, whether there's too much of a neurotransmitter or whether it is too little of a neurotransmitter. And neurotransmitters can either be stimulatory or they can help relax us. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is little chemical messengers running our brain, how they all correlate with one another, what they're each responsible for, and then targeted supplemental things that you can start doing, as well as foods that you can eat. And that's why it's so important that we implement a really good paleo template that I talked about before, with specific foods that aid all of these, the building blocks for all these neurotransmitters. So I'm going to tell you exactly what foods you want to consider if you think you're potentially low in them, what to look out for if you're not in the optimal range of these things, what symptoms could you be experiencing? Are you too anxious? Do you find yourself not as excited when you should be? Don't feel the same motivation as you used to. You can't relax. You can only relax maybe when you go for that alcoholic beverage. All of these things are things to consider because our neurotransmitters really run our behaviors, like I said. So dopamine, focus, we have serotonin, feel good, acetylcholine, responsible for memory. GABA, similar to alcohol, that's what makes us feel really relaxed, putting the brakes down on our brain. With all this, though, I'm going to tell you top down exactly what to do to optimize every single one of these with questionnaires. First one starting with the imbalances questionnaire, what to look out for. The matrix with just all the prerequisites of each one, just so you know these things inside and out. And it's all simplified for you. You can get really complex into this topic, but I just want to make it bite-sized for you. So whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you'll just know exactly what to do and when and what to do to hack each of these ones as well. After that, we're going to be getting into hacking your hormones. Your hormones control your mood. They control your ability to focus for hours on end, have emotional resilience when times are stressful, maintain deep connection with friends, loved ones, colleagues, be an effective leader. So really what I want to show you inside of here is what you can do to maximize your hormone profile so all of your systems are running at peak capacity. Sometimes for people, it's an individual gland issue, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, but usually the case, it's not always. And when we're hacking our hormones, it's all about taking a holistic approach with everything I talk about inside of here. Inside of this module, though, I'm going to take a more targeted approach. I'm going to show you everything, how hormones run our lives, and then get specific with male hormone sleep relationships, as well as the female hormone sleep relationships as well, and how that directly impacts your waking hours so you can become a more effective and better performing you. And lastly, as part of the advanced section, we are going to finish it off with genetics decoded. Now, like I said before, a lot of people do not like genetics because they feel like if they're not born with the right genetic hand, they don't have the genetic lottery, then there's nothing they can do about it. It was just the hand that they were dealt in life. But I have good news for you, and that is it's not always the case. Genetics are the raw data to our entire biology. It's also really important to know the specific sleep process, and I'm going to show you in here how it's not your genetic destiny. Even if you were born with poor genetics, it's ultimately genetics that load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. And I'm also going to show you how if you implement a lot of these things I talk about inside of this program, you can express the right genes, in other words, very favorable, so you sleep well, so you lose weight, so you get the body of your dreams, so your brain's able to function at its maximum peak capacity. And then you can make it so the genes that are unfavorable for you are not expressed, ones that promote inflammation, ones that promote weight gain, ones that promote you feeling like you're lazy, feeling like you're tired, ones that promote you being forgetful. We can actually turn these genes off and effectively hack our genetic profile by doing a lot of the things that I talk about here. But in this module, I'm going to be talking about the specific gene codes that you want to watch out for. If you ever get a genetic test, this is one really good thing to know. Again, I cover it all, even if it sounds really geeky. With all that said, I'm going to be giving you a genetics recommendations direct access handout. And this is going to be a portal where you can upload your genetics to and see the specific snippets that you need to look out for, because traditional genetic testing, such as 23andMe,
and a couple others really aren't that great because they only test 1% of your total genetic profile, and they make an assumption that that's your entire genetic profile sequence. I'm going to tell you better, more in-depth genetic profiles and tests that you can do so you can test your entire genome sequence, but also portals that you can upload it to see exactly how does this fit into lifestyle. What's the most optimal lifestyle for me? What's the best potential diet for me to follow? And again, this isn't fixed in stone, but these are really good guidelines to follow because it gives you a more detailed roadmap of what you need to do in your unique situation to get the most optimal version of you. So with all of that, that is week 6. There's quite a bit of material in there for you to go. Again, this is all completely up to date, on demand. You can access it anytime. I'm constantly updating this, and you have access to any questions you have along the way inside of the group as well. Week 7 is called Troubleshooting the Important. And this week is an interesting one because it's 100% action-based. Compared to the previous weeks where we were going over the theory, laying down the foundation, and eventually building up to the application, right here I'm just going to be telling you the pure 100% facts from some of the most frequently asked questions that I've been getting, what I've noticed people have been struggling the most with, just giving it to you in bite-sized pieces so you know exactly what to do. And this question list is always expanding based on what I feel could be more advanced. It could be more what people just want to know more of. Topics we haven't covered yet, things I get asked on the Q&A calls that I haven't potentially addressed in the course yet. I'm going to put that all here with specific situations to you. So starting from the top, we have trouble getting to sleep. What exactly do you do? What supplements do you take? What are kind of these instant fixes that you can do? Some of these are more short-term fixes where you can help get to sleep within a short punctuated time period. Others, if you're looking for more of a long-term solution, please refer to the previous modules. The next one is waking up in the middle of the night. What do you do? Mitigating damage from a night of lost sleep. What do we do in that case? Normalizing your circadian rhythm. How can we get that back on track? What do you do when you're sleeping with a partner in bed and they're keeping you up all night? Well, there's a lot of innovative solutions that you may have not thought of yet, and I go through all of them inside of here. After that, we're going to go through parenthood and sleep. Having kids can definitely be a struggle for some parents as they keep them up in the middle of the night. So what do you do? What strategies can you follow to minimize the effect of poor sleep that you have from this? And what are strategies that you can do between your children and yourself, also with your spouse too, to ensure that you just have a system set up in place where it minimizes you feeling like a disaster and a train wreck the very next morning. After that, we'll be talking about feeling drowsy while driving. There's no way around it sometimes. Drinking and driving is bad, but driving while drowsy is just as dangerous, yet people don't seem to talk about the consequences of this. But I don't want to go to that extreme. Sometimes we're just caught in situations where we're just driving while we're tired and it feels like we're going to fall asleep at the wheel. If we're driving between cities and we just can't help it, we sometimes get stuck inside of these situations. So what I've included is different techniques, strategies that you can utilize before going on a drive, while going on a drive, so you can ensure that you stay awake on the road in the best way possible. But again, please try and avoid this. This is just an emergency case situations. And last but not least, we have shift work and sleep. Shift work is no joke. It's classified as a new carcinogen. A couple of years ago by the CDC, it's shown to increase your risk of cancer, diabetes, obesity, and a lot of other things that you definitely do not want because you're working outside of your regular circadian rhythm hours. And if you're working during the night, I understand people who are doing shift work, who are nurses, whose occupation revolves around nighttime. I believe the recent stats is between 10 to 15% of the American workforce is doing shift work, especially overnight shifts. And there's no way around it sometimes, but I understand it. It's difficult. It's hard to get the day shift. I encourage my clients to work during the day as much as they can so they can sleep during night. But again, similar to driving while drowsy, there's no way around it sometimes. You just have to go into the situation and best prepare for it as you can. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this module, so you can minimize the effects, but also so you can feel most alert during your shift, and also make it so the hours that you are sleeping, you can trick your mind into thinking that it is actually nighttime. And so when you wake up from that, you're just going to feel more restored than had you not done any of these in the first place. So that's week 7. Really important, again, being constantly updated with me based on the questions that are constantly coming in, and just important topics that I just want to fly over with people so they can just go there for a quick resource or as a quick refresher if they've ever forgot anything throughout the course. And finally, we have week 8, and this is called bringing it all together. So everything you've learned up until this point, what does it mean? Lots of information. How do we stick it all together? And this is where I do bring it all together and just show you how far you've come from the beginning of your journey to the end of your journey. And if you forgot anything along the way, I'm going to be sure to seal all the holes in this module called Sleep Nirvana, of the ultimate state that we're looking to achieve. And inside of here, which is known as a state of productive bliss. You may have recognized your old self in the beginning of this program, and your new self, you've seen just how far you've come, and you know you've achieved that goal. And it's going to become pretty obvious of the changes that you're feeling, because it's all relative. You may have started this program feeling like a 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Sleep wasn't really at a good place. And most people start around here. They have no idea about sleep. They may know the basics, but even a degree improvement in the right direction is all it takes. And then the following day, you feel 5% better. The day after that, you feel maybe 7% better. And then as the weeks pass by, you're 25% better, 50% better. The closer you stick with it, the better results you feel. And you may require not that much tinkering in your biology at all. Other people may require a little bit more, especially if they've been sleep deprived or burning the candle at both ends for 40, 50 years. Even if it takes you 6 months to a year to get back on track, that is still incredible results compared to the alternative, which is taking sleeping pills, medications, and all these synthetic things that ultimately at the end of the day are just a band-aid on the problem. So in this module, we'll be bringing everything together into this synergistic model that you can refer back to time and time again if you ever fall off the path. We'll be going over, again, Sleep Nirvana, what a state of productive being and bliss is all about, how you can master your biology, how you can bring these new habits into place so you'll have it for the long term, even without this program and you having to refer back to it, and then tracking your progress so you have permanent results and you go into this place of sleep automation for the rest of your life, for years to come. After that, we're going to be going into A New You Awaits. So now we've achieved Sleep Nirvana. What's ahead? And that's where A New You awaits and all the benefits that come now that you've achieved this state. So here we're going to be making all the internalizations that you've made completely permanent. As you embark on your path of version U 2.0, in this video, we're going to ensure this transition back into the crazy world is as smooth as possible. And we're going to do this by showing you how to achieve your perfect kingdom, plugging any existing holes that might still be there, your daily workflow, showing you how to follow the process and how the process will reward you. And finally, version U 2.0. And lastly, I'm going to show you everything that we've worked on so far. You might be wondering, well, is that it? Is there anything else that we can work on? And here I'm going to quickly show you a way if you would like to pursue next steps, something that's more personally tailored to you. You do have the option of working with me one-on-one. Don't recommend it for everybody, but it is just an option. I'm going to show you how I work, how it would look like working with me. And if you would like to get in touch with me, you can do that all right here. So that is everything inside of this module. I hope you really liked it. Thank you so much for watching it. I realize this thing was a beast. It just reflects my passion that I have within sleep. And I just want to help as many people in the world as much as possible. I've realized it's my mission in life to do so based on my personal journey that I've gone through. It gives me such passion and joy to be able to share this kind of knowledge with people. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the call.